All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me make sure that we're live on all the platforms. You know me, I got to see it because I don't have a person. Oh crap, I lost the thing on Rockfin. Are you kidding? What a man. Okay, I think I might have just lost Rockfin. I can't tell. Oh wait, here we go. Let me go hit it. Uh Here, hold on. Sorry, folks. Bear with me. Um, all right, we should be good here. There we go. Okay. All right, we got it. All right. Sorry, that took a little bit. And YouTube, we are live. All right. Okay. There we go. What's up, Polly? How are you? Thank you very much for that. Rockfin, we're good. It took me a second, but we're good. Sorry about that, guys. It's the last one of the year, so of course, why not have tech issues? What's up, aggravated progressive? What's up? How are you? What's up, clarity? What's up, rain? Good to see everybody. Edwin, what's up, buddy? How is everyone doing? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. This is the final live stream. Well, I mean, I'll probably be doing stuff here and there, but this is the last official Get Your News On with Ron live stream of 2022. I always take a break at the end of the year, and I wasn't going to this year, actually. But here's the deal. Next Sunday is literally Christmas Day. And then the Sunday after that, I'm pretty sure is New Year's Day. So I thought, you know what? Yeah. Yes, we are in fact going to take a little break from the show. The show is going to go on a hiatus, and we will be back. Let's see here. We'll be back January the 15th. That is when we will return. So take it a little break. Take it a little break. I might come back beforehand. It depends on the reason it's a little up in the air. It depends on what happens with status quo. Right now, as you guys know, I am I'm filling in over a status quo 3 days a week. I'm doing Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I'll be doing that until Jordan Cheriton returns, which could be at some point in January or potentially later. Don't know yet. As soon as I find out, you guys will find out. And if that ends sooner than later, I'll probably kick back your news on get your news on with Ron a little sooner, because I won't be doing as much news and politicking, if you will. It's a lot right now. Between three, I mean, that's like almost full time, doing it 3 times a week with status quo and doing Get Your News On with Ron. Those are all on different days. That's just that's a lot of sad. Just a lot of sad. Not sad, but you know what I mean. That's a lot of news and politicking. Like a lot of it. And I like to do more of an abbreviated, more of like a all at once type deal. We are going later than usual. For everyone who's listening to the podcast later, you might have noticed it dropped later than usual. And of course, everyone catching this live, it's later than usual because of the World Cup. The World Cup was going on during our usual time, so I kind of just pushed the live stream back. Which, by the way, if you caught the World Cup, that was an absolutely incredible game. The game between France and Argentina. Argentina won. And honestly, I watched the game. I felt like Argentina deserved to win. I mean, I felt like just the way they played, they deserved the victory, I felt. I didn't really have a dog in the fight because I have a lot of friends in France. I have some good family friends in France. So I would have been happy for them if France won. Like, hey, congratulations. That's cool. France won. I also, but I like Argentina's team a little bit better, you know? I just kind of like their team a bit more. So I was kind of like, either way, it's cool. I don't really care. I just want a good game. And boy, was it a good game. And as I was watching the game, I was like, I feel like Argentina kind of earned this one. It was an excellent game. Both teams played excellent. And it's one of those things, even if you're not into football slash soccer, whatever you want to call it, even if you're not super into it, you watch that game, you realize why people are. I mean, I enjoy the game. I like the game already, but even if you don't follow it much, or you don't like it even, if you're like, "Oh, soccer's boring," which it's fine if you feel that way. I don't know why I did like a mocky voice for it. It's okay if you don't enjoy soccer. I think the reason I did a mocky voice for it is because a lot of times in the United States, when it's like World Cup time, people love to point that out. They just love to be like, "Oh my God, soccer is so boring. It's so I don't get." Yeah, well, guess what? It's the most popular sport in the freaking world. There's more attendance, there's more viewership of the World Cup than the Super Bowl. So, get over it a little bit. It's like why you never hear. I don't really find baseball all that enjoyable. Like, I don't get baseball. I find it very boring. But when the World Series is going on, I don't find the need to be like, oh my God, is this boring? I don't find the need to do that. And by the way, if I'm watching the World Series, which, probably not really going to be, but if like it's on at a bar or something and it's like game 7 and it's bottom of the ninth and it's do or die, even though baseball is not my cup of tea, I can watch that and be like, I get why people like this. I get it. It's not for me, but I get it. I get it. There's a strategy. What pitch are you going to throw? There's a lot going through the pitcher's head, the batter's head, the catcher's head. Everyone in the field is wondering what's going to happen next. I get why people dig it. And it was meant to be enjoyed by the hoi polloi. There's an interesting history of baseball. There's a big kind of DIY aesthetic about baseball when you think about it. Like, there was a time where we had barnstormer leagues in the United States where cities were just building these teams from scratch and trying to get people to come out and see them. It's interesting. It has an interesting history. I get why it appeals to some people. I think that stuff's all pretty badass, by the way. The game itself, not really for me. I don't find it all that enjoyable. But, like come World Series time, you're not going to see me go like, oh, I don't just, why? So anyway, I guess maybe that was, but man, that was a fantastic game. That's all I got. That was a fantastic freaking game. Even if you're not really that into the sport, I feel like if you watched that game, you'd be like, I get it. So, final stream of the year. Let's go through some stories here. We're going to be talking about the whole Elon Musk thing, how he was banning a bunch of journalists from Twitter. Well, what was really going on there? We're going to dive into it. We're going to dive into a historic Starbucks strike that is going on now. And kind of to end the year here, we're going to look at some kind of deadlines that we're up against in the digital rights space. And we're going to, kind of do a little bit of a review here, kind of like an end of year review. I do that every year on this show, and so I'll do it this year as well. And there's some stuff to be happy about, some stuff where it's like, well, we took a couple L's here, but let's dive into it. I don't know if you can hear those sirens. That's not my ride. Those are random sirens. I don't know if you can hear them. They're pretty loud. Can you hear them? Let me know in the chat if you can hear them. Can you hear the frickin' sirens? All right. Anyway, so check this out. You guys probably already saw this. This dropped a little earlier. Twitter has suspended the accounts of journalists who cover the company and owner Elon Musk. Musk. I said must. Elon must resign from Twitter. Elon Musk, including reporters for the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN. So Twitter suspended. A bunch of journalists were suspended. Now, why were they suspended? Well, here's what happened. Because there's people who are saying different things about what actually happened here, but we're going to break it down. So the reason they were suspended was because Elon Musk said that they were doxing him. Now, I believe that doxing someone is not protected speech. It shouldn't be. I think that if someone's doxing someone, that is there should be consequences there, and I'd be fine with that. However, that's not really what was happening. Or at least I would argue that's not what was happening. Here's what was happening. There was an Elon Jet Twitter account, And what it was doing was it was following. It was basically giving updates on what Elon was doing with his private jet. And the purpose of the account was to show, hey, this is how much the rich and the billionaires just fly around this freaking planet like it's their playground, and it's horrible for the environment. Just fly it around like it's just something to do is not good for the planet. So that was the point of the Twitter account. And it wasn't. Now, you could argue whether or not saying where he was at a certain time, that he landed in a certain place, that's the same as doxing. Now, what's ironic is that Elon Musk was tweeting about how he was at the World Cup game. So he was basically doxing himself by his definition of doxing. I would say that is not doxing. Saying where somebody's private jet is going, that's not the same as doxing. Doxing is if you gave out like a personal address or something like that. But even if you would say, oh yeah, that's doxing, he was suspending journalists that were just talking about what was happening. They were just reporting. He suspended one journalist who just asked him a question about it. I believe it was Taylor Lorenz. She just asked him a question about it, and he suspended her account. So that's what was actually going on. Like, if you even mentioned the story, he would suspend your account because you referenced the Elon Jet Twitter account, or like Elon Plane, whatever the Twitter account was called. I think it's been completely suspended. So here's audio footage where somebody asked him about that. They're like, Elon, we were just covering a story. This is a Twitter space that Elon Musk himself participated in, because a lot of these journalists who were suspended, even though their accounts were suspended, they were able to participate in Twitter spaces. So here's a Twitter space where Elon Musk was asked about this. And we're going to listen to this whole thing, by the way. So Elon Jet was the name of the Twitter account, just to clarify here. We're going to listen to this whole thing. Elon Musk is confronted about this. They're like, dude, we were just covering the Elon Jet story. We were just covering the story, acknowledging that the Twitter account exists. We weren't giving any real-time information about you. We weren't doxing you. We were just covering a story. And just because we referenced Elon Jet, referenced the Twitter account with a link, you banished us. And this is the same thing that you complained about with the Hunter Biden story. Hypocritical much? So here, let's listen to this. We're just going to listen to this whole thing. Elon Musk starts to answer this, and then he just kind of gets off of it. And then, by the way, what happened after this happened? Elon Musk got rid of Twitter Spaces for a while. I think it's back now. But for a while, he just got, like, Twitter Spaces was just over because he didn't like the fact that they were asking him questions. So he just, deleted Twitter Spaces. Twitter is basically just subject to whenever Elon Musk has a man-child hissy fit about whatever. That's what Twitter is right now. So let's listen to this.
In the last few hours, with a handful of journalists being banned.
Well, as I'm sure everyone who's been doxxed and
so this is Elon speaking now, by the way, if this wasn't clear. So they asked him, like, what's with all these journalists being banned? And this is Elon responding to it. And he's mentioning being doxxed.
would agree, showing real-time information about somebody's location is inappropriate. And I think everyone on this.
Now, again, I would say mentioning where a private jet is going is not the same as doxing someone. Elon Musk disagrees with that. So just so you know, when he's saying I was doxxed, that's what he means. People were saying that his private jet was just flying all over the place, and they were saying where it was flying. All right.
Would not like that to be done to them. And there's not going to be any distinction in the future between journalists, so-called journalists, and regular people. Everyone's going to be treated the same. You're not special because you're a journalist. You're a Twitter. You're a citizen. So no special treatment. You dox, you get suspended. End of story. So ban evasion, or trying to be clever about it, like, oh, I posted a link to the real-time information, is obviously that is obviously simply trying to evade the meaning. That is There's no different than actually showing real-time information.
So when you're saying posting a link to it, I mean, some of the people like Drew and Brian Mack from the New York Times who were banned were they were reporting on it in the course of sort of pretty normal journalistic endeavors. You consider that like a tricky attempt at ban evasion?
You show the link to the real-time information, ban evasion, obviously.
Drew, I don't think you were posting the real-time information, right?
I mean, you're suggesting that we're sharing your address, which is not true. And you're suggesting that we're posting. We never. I never posted your address.
You posted a link to the address.
We posted a link. In the course of reporting about Elon Jet, we posted links to Elon Jet.
So they're talking about Elon Jet. And that's what they're saying. They're like, we're talking about Elon Jet. We posted links to that. Elon Musk claims that is the same as doxing.
Which are now not online and now banned on Twitter. And Twitter also, of course, marks even the Instagram and Mastodon accounts of Elon Jet as harmful. Using, we have to acknowledge, using the same exact link blocking technique that you have criticized as part of the Hunter Biden New York Post story in 2020. So what is different here and there?
No more acceptable for me. It's no more acceptable for me, for you, than it is for me. Same thing. So anyway.
So it's unacceptable what you're doing?
No. What you dox, you get suspended. End of story. That's it.
They didn't dox though, and that's what they're getting at. They're like, we were just talking about what Elon Jet was doing, and Elon Jet has already been flagged. So why is it okay for you to suspend us? And he just keeps saying like, well, you dox, you get suspended. You dox. They're saying we didn't dox you. No one doxed you here. All right. So let's listen to the end.
Elon, I have to ask, I mean, I think what everyone's wondering is it's highly unusual for journalists at the Washington Post and the New York Times to have their Twitter accounts suspended. And it just so happens that it's, the boss in charge, so, what's the deal there? Oh, I think Elon has left.
He quit at this point. So he rage quit.
I guess
that's unfortunate because
the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
guess what the difference is there.
Man, I had so many. I was raring to go, guys.
I know, I was too.
I was going to order a cyber truck.
I just want to say, sorry, I don't want to browbeat him. And this is reporting, right? There is value to reporting where people go. Most of what Elon Jet shared was him going to the factory in California or the factory in Texas.
So that's what really went down. And later, so this is something, Truth to Tweet shared this with me. I want to show this. This is sort of Elon Musk basically admitting what he did. Like he basically admitted that it's like, yeah, what they were saying is accurate. And shout out to Truth to Tweet for showing this to me. So he admits it. No rules were broken. He just doesn't like them. So here's what Elon Musk tweeted later. This is Elon Musk's tweet. In some parts of the world, journalists get murdered for crossing the wrong people. Banning the reporters I don't like from my own platform feels like a pretty innocuous alternative to me. So he's basically acknowledging, I just didn't like these reporters. I didn't like the fact that they were covering Elon Jet. So I suspended their accounts. I think they have since been unsuspended, I think. But that's what was really going down there. So, because you hear a bunch of things like, well, they were doxing. That's not protected speech. Well, here's what actually went down. So, I'm getting a little tired of the Elon man-child behavior that we talk about here. And I know that no matter what happens, he will always have his sycophants. There will always be Elon Musk, fans out there who worship everything he does, no matter what. And to those people, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you think a billionaire is gonna save you, good luck. And if you think everyone, this dude is no free speech advocate. I think that's clearly obvious because he's banning people for covering a story. And he's been doing, I mean, he's suspended people for making fun of him. I mean, he is just one of the lords on the internets, and we are all the serfs. So no, he is not some big free speech advocate. Anyway, all right. So that's the story of what really went down there. And I'm sure, if you want to find people making excuses for the guy, you can find, all kinds of all of his little fans who, no matter what he does, they're going to be like, no, he's great. He's done so much for the world. Okay, that's cool. By the way, cooler news. There's the biggest strike in Starbucks history, and it's underway now. This is from In These Times. Starbucks workers at around 100 stores have begun a national 3-day walkout. The union campaign's largest action yet. So this started 2 days ago. This started on the 16th. In the latest escalation of their growing union drive, Starbucks workers across the country are staging a 3-day strike beginning today, making it the longest nationally coordinated job action in the company's history. Over 1,000 baristas and these are union baristas, at around 100 stores are expected to participate. Starbucks Workers United, which has won union elections at around 270 locations, covering approximately 7,000 baristas since December of 2021, is demanding the coffee giant begin negotiating a first contract rather than to continue its relentless union-busting campaign. We've been covering that on this show. Howard Schultz has been employing every union-busting tactic. None of them have been legal. The National Labor Relations Board has cited the company with over 900 alleged violations. So the strike's happening right now, and they're bringing up how they have terminated workers for pro-union activities. Austin Locke, an SBWU member from the Astoria Ditmore store in Queens, Starbucks fired Locke in July, just days after he and his coworkers voted to unionize. He is one of at least 150 employees around the country who SBWU says was fired as illegal retaliation for their union organizing. So don't cross the picket line right now, folks. We'll see how this unfolds. But right now, we are amidst a legendary Starbucks strike. This is the biggest Starbucks strike that has ever happened. And hopefully it results in them getting what they want, which is fair wages, a union, fair benefits. All the things that people have to unionize and strike for in the United States are things they shouldn't have to ask for. Hey, if we give you our labor for 40 hours a week or however long it is, we should get a living wage. Our labor is worth a living wage because without our labor, your store doesn't function. If no one's there to make the frickin' coffee, guess what? No one gets coffee. Yet you think you can't pay us a living wage. And guess what? If you can't pay someone a living wage, you don't get their labor. I mean, in this country, we have been brainwashed, and I use the collective we. We have really been brainwashed to make it out like when someone gives us a job, they're doing charity for us. They're not. We're making an agreement, and that agreement is I give you my labor for what constitutes as full-time or part-time employment, and in exchange, you give me a fair wage. Well, what is a fair wage? A living wage. It is no more complicated than that. And if an employer can't afford a living wage, guess what? They don't get an employee. They don't get one. You wouldn't, if you're trying to open a restaurant and you can't afford certain ingredients, you don't get to be like, well, I can't afford to pay this much for the coffee beans, but here's how much I can afford to pay. Will you accept this? No, get lost. Well, I need these coffee beans for my restaurant. Tough shit. Same with employees. You can't afford to pay a living wage. Well, but I can pay this. No, you don't get to have an employee then. And this is what needs to happen so that we assure that society happens. We need to strike. We need to have union efforts. We need to have protests. Because that's the only way this changes. Because we've allowed it to get We've allowed it to get to the point where people are being exploited to the nth degree, and people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to frickin' survive. So I have done my part in not crossing the picket line, folks. I have not gotten Starbucks in, God, a long time. I think the last time I got Starbucks was when I was on the road in the Northwest, and I got it because it was the only thing available. I got it because I was driving through a rural area, and it was the only thing available to me. I live in a community where there are plenty of local coffee shop alternatives, and I will patronize those places. Honestly, most of the time, I make my coffee at home. I like a lot of coffee, so I make it in a big old coffee maker, and I kind of just get my IV ready and shove it right up my butt. That's not how I take my coffee. I'd consider it, though. That's how much I love frickin' coffee. And by love, I mean I have an addiction. It's an addiction. There are worse ones out there, but I'm for sure addicted to coffee. So this strike's going to go on for another day, and hopefully it results in them letting the unions at the table. Right now, they're just trying to bust the unions. Even though we're seeing all these victories, Howard Schultz is still just trying to bust the unions left and right. So shout out to the striking workers. Oh, and by the way, since we're at the end of the year reflection here, one of the things I'm going to be doing in 2023, if you are a worker on strike, you get to come to my show for free. If I'm coming to your town, you want to see me, you let me know. If you're a striking worker, you get to come to the show for free. So San Diego, Tucson, you on strike right now? I'm coming to your town. You get to come to the show for free. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go on to the kind of reflection portion of today's show. So some of you guys know I have been fighting for these antitrust bills most of this year, and we're not quite at the deadline yet. The congressional recess has not begun quite yet. I think they still got, I believe, all of this week coming up. But the clock is really ticking. The clock is really ticking, and it's tough to say, are we going to see a victory here? Are we not? I know we got to try. But here's something from the Huffington Post. Here's something the Huffington Post put together on this. Senator Chuck Schumer can pass landmark antitrust bills right now. Why isn't he? Because he has a bunch of compromises with big tech. He has a daughter who works for Meta. He has a daughter who works for Amazon, and they're lobbyists. And big tech doesn't want to see these bills passed because these antitrust bills start breaking up big tech. They break up their monopoly in the App Store, and they break up their monopoly on search results. And Amazon and Google and Apple don't want that. So this is from Huffington Post. As the Congress' final days tick away, bipartisan backers of a trio of proposals to rein in the power of big tech and stiffen antitrust enforcement have a simple question for Chuck Schumer. What's the deal? As this Congress's final days tick away, Schumer has yet to deliver a promised vote. He's been promising this since spring on the legislation, prompting pressure campaigns and pleading with the White House to intervene with the apparently recalcitrant New Yorker who advocates believe is willing or maybe even eager to let the clock run out on this legislation. The legislation, if passed, would be both bipartisan and a direct confrontation of corporate power, a near surefire recipe for political winner and the fulfillment of 2 of the Biden administration's stated goals. Neither Schumer's office nor the White House responded to comments. So here's a quote from Amy Klobuchar. At some point, the people in the building are going to have to decide that they are not giving in to the dominant social media platforms. So again, this legislation reins in big tech. It stops the prioritization of Google and Amazon's own content in their search results. What Amazon does is they make generics of certain products. And then when you look for that product on Amazon, they show their generics first. And the thing you're actually looking for might not be for 2 or 3 pages. They do this to all the independent vendors in the freaking world. And Google, you will be searching for information on Google. Google will do what's called data scraping, where they pull information from other websites, package it as their own, and then your clicks and eyeballs go to Google's repackaged content instead of the website itself, taking traffic away from said website, be it a news website or anything else. This is how they basically have a monopoly on the internet. They have a stranglehold on the internet, and we need antitrust in the digital space. And guess what? That antitrust in the digital space bleeds into our real space too. Because guess who's treating their workers terribly because they have a near monopoly? Frickin' Amazon. Amazon, you know what Amazon did this holiday season? Jeff Bezos, one of the richest guys in the frickin' world. He might be the richest right now. I know Elon Musk isn't the richest anymore, and I think they take turns every other week. 1 week it's Musk, 1 week it's frickin' Bezos. You know, he's laying off 20,000 people, Jeff Bezos. That's what he's doing this holiday season. Because, you know, the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, they couldn't make it out because they're too busy driving for Uber. They're working 2 and 3 jobs just to pay their bills, so they can't do their Christmas of past, present, and future-ing. So they couldn't visit them. So, yeah. Anyway. So we got to work like hell. We got to fight like hell. Go to BidenPromise.us. Again, that's BidenPromise.us. I know most of you, those of you who are regulars at this show, you've already signed this petition. But please, we have to scream as loud as we can for them to bring these bills to a vote. And it's all up to Chuck Schumer. The public has been loud as hell. We have not let this story go. We have not ended this campaign. We have thrown everything in the kitchen sink at this damn thing. But they're still just basically thumbing their nose at us. And here's another area where we're taking it on the chin pretty good here, and that's with the FCC. As many of you know, the FCC is still stalled in the 2-2 gridlock, and we do not have a pro-net neutrality FCC, even though that's what the White House promised. Joe Biden did nominate Gigi Sohn to the FCC. She still has not received her appointment confirmation because Joe Biden doesn't really care, because Chuck Schumer, again, has a ton of conflicts in big tech, so he's dragging his feet, and because there's a big right-wing smear campaign against her. So that's what is happening. And let me close out of this pop-up here, and we'll get to this here. So Democratic majority at the FCC still blocked. The nomination of Gigi Sohn for the 5th commissioner slot has languished for over a year. Numerous policies affecting telecom interests are at stake. Nearly 2 years have come and gone without a 5th commissioner at the FCC. 2 years! It's been going on for 2 years. All of Trump's picks, by the way, took a matter of weeks. Just to give you perspective. It's been 2 years with Joe Biden. Trump's picks, a couple weeks. This is setting a record for the campaigning and industry advertising around the appointment of just one commissioner, said Reed Hunt. It's setting a record in inaction, and it's setting a record. There was a $246,000 smear campaign against Gigi Sohn, an FCC commissioner. $246,000. That's how much they spent on Facebook ads trying to smear her and get rid of her nomination. An FCC commissioner. That's it. How freaking sad is that? It is unbelievable. A split commission impairs several core functions, including but not limited to restoring net neutrality, an issue Sohn has long championed that would prohibit the throttling of websites and internet service providers. So, in the near term, the Biden administration has tasked the FCC with key directives essential to the implementation of both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and an executive order on promoting competition across the U.S. economy. Without a 5th commissioner, those directives are at risk of getting watered down to benefit the telecom corporations. And if Gigi Sohn does not get confirmed before the end of this year, they have to re-up her nomination because their nomination will expire once the new Congress comes in. And it's not even guaranteed that Biden's going to do that. He might just nominate someone else. And by the way, I'm not going to, as long as that other person is pro-net neutrality, I'll take it. We'll see. Who knows who he's going to nominate, though? We have no idea. Biden has always been a friend to big tech, and he's not been a friend to digital rights. Biden was one of the few, even Democrats for that matter, who was anti-net, well, not Democrats compared to Republicans, but most Democrats, they're at least on board with net neutrality. Biden wasn't even on board with net neutrality for the longest time. So he says he is now, but, he's certainly not rushing to get this. Man. So go to battleforthenet.com and demand that action be taken on net neutrality immediately. Because we're past the 11th hour. We're at the 11th hour and 3/4 of the way through it. This week is it. And if we don't get either of those two things, we're going to take some losses. We're going to lose on antitrust. We're going to lose on the FCC. And those are two very big losses in regards to the future of the internet. That is a loss in restoring federal net neutrality, and that is a loss in passing antitrust legislation that is easy to pass. I mean, this has a lot of support across all political spectrums that would start breaking up big tech. So, and somebody said this to me the other day, and I'm not sure if it was meant to be condescending or not. I mean, I feel like it probably was, but who knows? Maybe it wasn't. I'm not, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And they said to me that they were like, man, you never stop hoping. I don't hope for anything. Hope has nothing to do with it. I never stop fighting. There's a big difference. Those are two completely different things. I don't quit fighting because what's the alternative? What is the alternative? The alternative is just giving up and just rolling over. And I'll tell you what, giving up, it's really good if you just want to frickin' be some edgelord contrarian on Twitter or on a podcast or whatever. Giving up is a good thing to do. It's really good for your brand. You know why? Because that way you can never really be wrong about anything. You can never really take a loss because at the end of the day, you're just an armchair quarterback. You're like a eunuch at a gangbang sitting on the sidelines, bitching about everything and everyone else. And it makes for some really good rage porn. And it makes for some really good, there's going to be people who are convinced that you're some kind of thought leader. You're some kind of thought leader because you're shitting on everyone who's trying anything. So, yeah. Giving in the towel, taking the black pill or whatever it's called. I actually don't know what all that stuff means exactly. So if I'm not using that terminology right, please just disregard that. But, that's great for clicks. It's great for whatever. But you know what? I find it personally, I'm not interested in that. I'm just not. I'd rather go to the mat for policy and lose than not go to the mat at all. And you know what? I can handle some losses because politically, I've been losing my entire adult life. I've been losing as long as I've been able to vote and had a political opinion. I've lost time and time again. I've had some wins, but I've lost probably 90% of the time. Why? Because I'm a lefty in the United States. I am a lefty and in an incredibly right-wing country. Like a very, very right-wing country. That's just a reality, And by the way, not necessarily in the people. I don't think that the people of the United States are particularly super right-wing. I mean, I think a lot are, but not everybody. But the way our system is set up, it's an extremely right-wing Overton window because you have two corporately controlled political parties. So what do you think? They're not going to permit anything else. So I'm hoping we don't lose here. But we might. We might. And if we do, we'll fight another day. It sucks to, leave on a loss. But you know me, I don't sugarcoat what's going on. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, the win was all the friends we made along the way. No, we fucking lost. And we might still, there's still a week. But if we go down, well, we lost this one. And we're going to fight again. And we're not going to quit. Or at least I'm not. And I know you guys aren't either. And so looking at the year in review, this is the type of show where I talk about the things that I really find to be important, and not just the things that I find to be really important, but the things that I don't think are really being covered elsewhere. Digital rights is a very niche thing. Labor is still a very niche thing, although there's more coverage for labor now. Climate change is really important on this show. And, we talk about those things and we encourage action. On this show, there is a call to action every single freaking show. That's not going to change. And, I take it on the chin when I lose. And I lose a lot. I have literally in my lifetime only won. And when I say won, I mean I supported somebody from the primary to the finish line and they won. That has happened to me one time in my life. It was recent, and it was a race for city controller locally in Los Angeles. I supported Kenneth Mejia in the primary. He went on to win. Now, there have been times where I voted for a candidate because I'm like, well, this person is better than this other person, and that person would win. I've had that happen some, sure. But as far as it's the primary, this is the person I think is great for the job, and they get the job, literally happened one time in my life, once. There have been times where it would have happened more, but I wasn't. I'm only counting situations where I was able to vote. So there's like if I lived in certain districts, there's candidates who did that I would have voted for in the primary, but I live in that. Yeah, you get the idea. So that's literally happened to me one time in my life. But hey, that's life, man. Like Steely Dan said, they got a name for the winners in the world. Well, I want a name when I lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. You can call me Deacon Blues. Beautiful song, one of my favorites, by the way. But yeah. So that's what we do here. And I want to thank you guys like I always do. Which, by the way, we're going to do the Patreon stream right after this, so stick around. That's the casual stream where we just chat it up. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to stop this stream and then restart it and do another stream. So hang out. And if you got any thoughts or, want to chat some, a super chat is very, 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 very greatly appreciated. I'll go through some of the ones here as well that we have right now. And thank you guys for letting me exist another year. I always say this because it's the truth. Without your love and support, this show could not continue. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. I would have to just do something else entirely. So patrons, which by the way, if you're thinking, hey, it's a new year, a new me, you can become a patron at patreon.com/RonPlacone. It's not too late to get a holiday theme song, but it's almost too late. So you got to sign up now and let me know because I'm doing last calls for those real soon. But for a Give What You Can level, you can watch my short film Loner. You can watch my performance as Lucian the Satirist. There's all kinds of clips, stand-up clips, my album, all kinds of stuff not available anywhere else. And I'll make you a theme song. That's all for a Give What You Can level. Even $1 a month goes a long way. And guys, this show still exists because you guys allow it to exist. So please, your patronage is super important. Even $1 a month goes a long way. $1 a month. Helps keep this show on the air. So thank you guys for giving me another year. I appreciate it. It wouldn't exist without you. It wouldn't. And this year, once again, you guys are letting me know that it gets to stay. So we'll be back in 2023. I guess I'll just make it official. I'll just say, all right, even though I don't know my future, like how extensive I'll be with Status Quo in January. It depends on when Jordan comes back. We're just going to say January 15th is when Get Your News On with Ron comes back officially. I'll be making stuff in the meantime, but the official long form live streams will be back on January 15th. And in the meantime, you can check me out on the road. Tour dates, I got them. January 7th, we kick off in San Diego, California. That is a free show, by the way, San Diego. So make your plans now. That's January 7th. You can find the information on my website. It's a free show, but reservations are recommended. So ronplacone.com. Make your plans now. January 28th, Tucson, Arizona. That is a show and the screening of my short film Loner. The short film's only 12 minutes. So I'm going to do stand-up. Then we're going to watch my film. It's going to be awesome. And you can use the promo code Lucy at checkout for an early bird discount. I'm doing an early bird / holiday discount. That's till the end of the year. So Tucson, get your tickets now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Grab them now. Grab them while they're cheap. Yeah. Well, they're always affordable, but you know what I mean. They're even more affordable. Makes a great holiday gift. February 10th, April 14th, and May 12th, I'm doing shows at the Glendale Room in Los Angeles, California. That is a residency over the course of a couple months to work on my 2023 hour, because I'm hoping to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this year. And I will have more dates very, very soon. Madison, Wisconsin, I'm coming. Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm coming. Chicago, working on it. Indianapolis, working on it. Detroit, working on it. And, of course, the UK, working on it. Let me get to... What's up, Effective Schizo? I'm a bum and sit at Starbucks all day. That's cool, man. Let's see. I like that. You know, I like that. I'm a bum and sit at Starbucks all day. Hey, I've definitely spent all day at the coffee shop just writing, doing my thing. You know, I'm a lucky guy because I do live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of cool local options, and I choose to patronize those places instead. But if I was in a situation where Starbucks was all I had, you know, that'd be all that would be where I'd go. Carl, what's up, man? No love for Grand Rapids. I'll come to, dude, hit up Dr. Grins. Tell him you want to see Ron Placone. I haven't been to Dr. Grins in a long time. The last time I was there was with Tom Green. I opened for Tom Green. But I would love to come back. So you hit them up, you say that you want to see me, and I'll swing by Grand Rapids after I go to Detroit. How's that sound? I'm on board if you are, Carl. Let's see. Comrade Jack O'Neill, what's up, Jack? How are you? Understanding the system is set up for you to fail is a black pill. Okay, is that what that means? I mean, I understand that the system is set up for me to fail. Like, I get that. My understanding of the whole black pill thing was kind of when you're just, like, checked out and you're just like, well, there's no point. But I probably shouldn't use those because I don't understand. Like, I've seen The Matrix, but I was not sober and it was many years ago. So, like, the whole, like red pill, blue, I don't really understand what it means exactly. And I've heard people describe it in different ways. So I probably just should never reference it because I'm not exactly sure what it means. Understand love. I'd like to think I understand love. And you understand there is no choice but to fight. I like that. Jack, I'm with you. Jack, I'm with you, man. And if my definition of black pill was off, I probably shouldn't have. I'm not exactly sure what it means. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I have no idea. Over on the Rockfin, Rory O'Neill, what's up? Good to see you, Rory. Happy Sunday. Old Geologist, what's up? Miss you, dude. Here to support you. Well, thank you for the Rockfin tip. You help keep the show on the air. And you don't need to miss me. I'm still around. I do my beach videos a lot. And I'm going to be taking a break from the stream after this. This is the last stream for 2022. But I will be back in the new year on January 15th. That's the official comeback date of Get Your News On with Ron. But I'll be doing short streams in the meantime. I'll be doing some patron streams in the meantime. I'll be hanging out in the meantime. So I'm not going anywhere. I've not been anywhere. Well, I've been places, but But thank you so much for that, Old Geologist. You help keep this show on the air. Guys, for everybody listening to the podcast, leave us a 5-star review, would you? It goes a long, long way, and I will see you in 2023. For everyone catching this live, don't go anywhere because I'm going to come back in a bit for the last patron stream of 2022. Come hang out. Effective Schizo, Comrade Jack O'Neill, thank you very much for your super chats. You help keep the show on the air. And Old Geologist, thank you very much for your Rockfin tip. Y'all help keep the show on the air. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. And y'all know the drill at the meantime. RonFlacone.com for all tour dates. Can't wait to see you in 2023. And you know the drill. 2022 send off. Lucy, she says meow. And I say peace, love, and a general strike.